We are standing in front of a Veterans War Memorial outside the state capitol on the east side. Oh gosh.
He was very good. That was good.
Selling slack, selling slack, selling slack, selling slack, selling Sacramento, buying the block back, selling slack, selling slack.
Hello Sacramento, it's Vince.
And Key.
Guess what guys, we are standing in front of a beautiful Veterans War Memorial outside the state capitol.
And we are excited to bring you this episode of Selling Sacramento because we have a special guest who is going to narrate you through the Capitol as you tour it right here, Miss Brenda Darcel Harris of Sacramento Events and Cal Tours. Take it away, Miss Brenda.
Hi, I'm Darcel Harris Lee, Chief Fantasy Officer of Cal Events, and today I'm taking you on a tour of the California State Capitol. As we begin on the steps of the west side of the Capitol, you will be in awe of the building's beauty and magnificence. The building began in 1860, and this iconic structure, patterned after the United States Capitol, took all of 14 years to build. It was completed in 1874. But during this span of time, let me tell you, there was no shortage of drama, catastrophes, political maneuverings, and all kinds of memorable stories. One such story? The original architect, Reuben Clark, had to take leave from overseeing the building of the Capitol and was hospitalized in an insane asylum where he eventually died. His diagnosis, continued and too close attention to the building of the state Capitol, it drove the man crazy, literally. Okay, come on. Now follow me in. Let's go inside this glorious building and let me share a few special stories and tidbits with you about our Capitol's history and some of its very special residents. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to share one little story on each floor, starting right here on the first floor or the main floor of our building. We are now standing in the Capitol Rotunda. Isn't this gorgeous? It literally can take your breath away, right? The artisans paid such close attention to detail, the beautiful colors, the gold gilding, and the amazing carvings, and the 158-foot span from the floor to the top of the awesome dome within a dome. Yes, this building has a double dome. Here in the rotunda stands a statue depicting Queen Isabella as she's listening to Christopher Columbus as he's convincing her he should sail west. This precious artifact was donated to the Capitol in 1883 by businessman and banker Mr. D.O. Mills, a very strong advocate for having the Capitol in Sacramento. You know, Mr. Mills paid $30,000 for this solid marble statue. It's now worth 100 times that amount. Pretty interesting piece of sculpture. But it wasn't without controversy. That story you'll have to hear another time. Okay, up to the second floor. And as we walk upstairs, I want you to notice these amazing staircases made of mahogany, walnut, and redwood. These precious staircases were reconstructed and brought into the building, an exact replica of the staircases that were here in 1874. And look at the beautiful carved bear's head that punctuates each side of the banisters. Just amazing. As we walk to either the Senate side of the building on the right or the Assembly side where we're going on the left, you will notice the precious poppy floor. That's right, poppy floor, because the poppy is our California state flower. 600,000 pieces of tile make up the floors on either side of the rotunda. 600,000 pieces. They were taken up, cleaned, grouted, and glued to sheets and then replaced to look exactly as they did in the 1800s. How would you have liked that job? Oh, look over here. An interesting and very controversial portrait of an interesting and very controversial man. Our immediate past governor, Mr. Jerry Brown. Now, want to know the rest of the story about why his portrait is so different from a normal governor's portrait? Well, you will just have to take the tour of the Capitol with me to hear that story. We're off up to the third floor and the Assembly Gallery. Our capital is patterned after the British Parliament in London, England. So on the Senate side, you're going to find the smaller chamber designed in a beautiful royal red and gold. Of course, that represents the House of Lords in London and royalty. But we're standing on the Assembly side. And you're going to find this chamber is designed, look at this, in beautiful green and gold. This represents the House of Commons, the People's House, just as it does in Great Britain. Aren't these Venetian chandeliers stunning? And over the dais are words written in gold that say, "It is the Assemblyman's duty to pass just laws." So, who do you think has responsibility for making sure that happens? That's right, the Speaker of the Assembly, the most powerful individual in the Assembly and sometimes in the entire state legislature. And who do you think was one of California's most powerful speakers? It was Assemblyman Willie Brown, the infamous, flamboyant, fast-talking, swag-walking, deal-making Willie Brown. Speaker Brown was a man who challenged the establishment. His public fights with Governor Ronald Reagan were stories that have become legends. His ability to raise money, unparalleled, and his personal style and his ability to outdress everyone around him set the bar for men's fashion across this state. Believe me, Speaker Brown, who went on to become mayor of San Francisco, has become quite the iconic figure even today.
I'm Phil Esch, National Chairman of the JCPenney Retiree Group, known as the JCPenney Alumni Club, or HCSC. And we've had a wonderful experience this morning with Darcel touring the capital of the state of California in Sacramento. My favorite part of the tour was actually the tour in the chamber. I really enjoyed Abraham Lincoln's my favorite president, so seeing his portrait in the chamber of the Assemblyman was good for me to see. I like seeing that there and the way it's laid out and everything about it. So,
actually, I'm from Texas, and so I will brag about our capital, which looks a whole lot like your capital, as a matter of fact. But your capital is surrounded by an enormous amount of trees and bushes and flowers and most interesting agricultural stuff. I'm going to have a hard time saying which one is the best, but it's just all good.
I love the history in there. I love the woodwork with the bears. I can't imagine dusting it. I love the way the seal is what the seal represents, and Darcel taking us around and explaining all of that, and then utilizing it throughout the Capitol. Like I said, I've never been to a state capitol, and I should go visit them, I guess, more. I should go down to Austin, where my son lives, and go through the state capitol.
Well, there's so much more to show and tell about the California State Capitol, but I'm afraid we must exit the building. So we're going to exit now, and we're going to walk through this beautiful California redwood grove of redwood trees. You know, I got to tell you a secret. The most famous tree in this grove is the moon tree. Standing in the corner of the grove next to the Capitol itself, this 120-foot tall, beautiful redwood was taken up in NASA's Apollo 14 as a seed. When the Apollo returned, California was given the seed, and it was planted right here in 1971. And so we now have our very own moon tree, one of only a handful in the entire world. It's been so much fun showing you our state capitol. If you want to hear more of my infamous stories and learn more about the history of our amazing state and its stunning capital, please give me a call. I'll be happy to give you a tour. Until then, remember, know your history and tell your story. Bye for now.
With that being said, there's nothing else left to say except don't forget to like, share, tag, and follow. I'm Key.
I'm Vince.
And we are
Selling Sacramento.
Selling sack, selling sack, selling sack, selling sack, selling sack, selling Sacramento, buying the block back. Selling sack, selling sack.